Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Mallard Grodner Attorneys providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. lawmg.com. IU Alumni Association connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Scott County officials voted to end a needle exchange program created 6 years ago to combat an HIV outbreak.
And the legislature here has given each county commissioners the right to either have a needle exchange or not to have a needle exchange.
While HIV cases are at their lowest in years, proponents argue now is not the time to end the program. Indiana University is still requiring vaccinations for all students, staff, and faculty this fall, but they will no longer require submitted proof.
This is the only way forward to a sort of normal campus life on all of our IU campuses.
And the DNR has approved plans to dredge Lake Lemon. The 70-year-old man-made lake has lost nearly 200 acres over the years to sedimentation. These stories, plus the latest news headlines from around the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. The needle exchange, credited with slowing Indiana's worst HIV outbreak, is set to close. Scott County's commissioners voted earlier this week to phase out the program by the end of the year. Mitch Legan reports.
I'm making a motion to end the needle exchange as it is right now, and not to end it today, but to phase it out.
In Scott County, disappointment but not surprise after the commissioners voted to end the needle exchange.
We anticipated this would probably be the way the commissioners voted, so we're not shocked.
Advocates increased their outreach the last month to educate and stump for the program, which they say has not only reduced the number of new HIV cases, but also acts as an important resource for healthcare and recovery services.
If it wasn't for them giving me the resources every time that I come in there, I can't say that I would have got clean.
But like the rest of the U.S., Scott County still has an overdose problem. Doctors there prescribe more opioids than the state average, and Commissioners Mike Jones and Randy Julian say the access to needles is leading to more overdoses.
Am I concerned about HIV and hepatitis? Absolutely, I am. Very worried about it. What I'm more concerned about is the people we cannot bring back to life.
They say they can't live with a program that makes it easier to use drugs.
I know people that are alcoholics, and I don't buy them a bottle of whiskey, and I have a hard time handing a needle to somebody that I know they're going to hurt themselves with.
Health officials there say they're dismayed by the decision, which requires them to phase out the needle exchange by the end of the year. The commissioners could reinstate the program at a later date if HIV cases spike again. But health officials say at that point, it'd probably be too late.
We hope we're wrong, but, it's very, very likely, and the, experts from all over the world tell us, this is probably going to, be another outbreak without a syringe service program.
My colleague Mitch Legan has been following this story. He made another trip to Scottsburg this week and joins us now to discuss the commissioner's decision. So Mitch, you said this was something the community had been expecting.
Yep, Mike Jones, the commissioner's president, he's been an outspoken kind of not advocate, adversary of the exchange for a while now. He's not a huge fan of it. Randy Julian was on the fence and then a couple weeks ago made the announcement that he planned on voting against the exchange. So in talking with health officials down there, there was some hope that some sort of maybe last-minute deal could have been made, but obviously the commissioners went with their gut and they decided to end the program.
So why did they vote to get rid of the program if it's worked? I mean, you said overdoses.
Yes, the big point Jones and Julian made is IV drug use can lead to overdoses, and if that's going to happen, they don't want to be providing drug users with the tool to do it. Jones said to his knowledge, nobody in the county has died from HIV complications since the outbreak, and there have been 8 overdose deaths already this year. They also have a problem with some of the exchange's data and record keeping, especially the fact that it doesn't keep track of how many people who use the program that have actually overdosed. But I should say that's actually because of state law. It prevents the exchange from gathering personal information from people who come in to use their services.
So then what happens to the needle exchange come January 1st?
Yeah, the exchange is going to have to stop operating at the start of the next year. But Jones said he didn't want to take something away without providing, something to fill the void. He suggested creating what he described as like a 24-hour rec center where drug users could come in at any time. It provided a lot of the same services as the needle exchange, just minus the needles. People could get tested there, they could get connected with recovery services, and advocates, they're excited about that. They're probably working on plans right now. But they say creating and funding a center like that will be tough in such a short time frame, especially if you want staff there 24/7, medical and recovery personnel. That's not going to be cheap. The commissioners said they'd be willing to work with the advocates and could push the deadline for the exchange back if the center isn't ready by January 1st. But advocates and medical workers, they doubt that center would be as effective because it's the needles that bring the people in the door and then connect them with those recovery and healthcare services.
All right, Mitch, thank you very much for your reporting. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Indiana University announced that it will no longer require students, faculty, and staff to provide proof of their COVID-19 vaccination. This policy change comes after several GOP legislators and Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita argued state law does not allow the university to make such a requirement. Providing vaccine documentation will now be voluntary, and instead, students and staff will have to sign a certificate that affirms they have been vaccinated. IU spokesperson Chuck Carney says the university consulted with lawmakers before implementing the new procedures.
This reflects an adjustment because of those concerns that were expressed to us. But we do know that what we're doing is allowed legally.
Special exemptions are limited to individuals with medical permission or under strict religious circumstances. Those who decline to comply will see their registration or employment canceled. The university is launching an incentive program, including drawings at all campuses for those who submit a proof of vaccine via the self-report form. IU says it will distribute $70,000 in prizes. Carney says requiring vaccines is the only way the university can return to a sense of normalcy this fall. Indiana's largest hospital system, Indiana University Health, will require all its doctors, nurses, and other employees to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 by September 1st. IU Health announced in a statement vaccines are a safe, effective way to protect patients and help reduce the spread of the coronavirus. The health system added that it's required the flu vaccine since 2012. IU Health says employees will be allowed to apply for deferral or exemption from the COVID-19 vaccine based on medical or religious reasons. Construction has begun on a protected bike lane that will connect the Beeline Trail in downtown Bloomington to Indiana University. Holden Absher reports.
Bloomington Mayor John Hamilton says trails are one of the city's most treasured assets. That's why he promised to fund 4 new routes with the 2018 bicentennial bond. One of them is the 7 line, a protected bike lane along 7th Street that will connect the Beeline Trail and Indiana University campus.
Just think about how the Beeline revolutionized the way we get around Bloomington. On foot or bike, wheelchair, stroller, skate, scooter, basically north to south. And now, an idea recommended in our 2019 transportation plan, an east-west route.
The city began construction on the project Thursday and hopes to complete the first segment between Woodlawn Avenue and Indiana Avenue before students return in August. Construction will continue west along 7th Street towards College Avenue. The eastbound lane of 7th will remain closed throughout, with periodic closures in the westbound lane. Once finished, the path will be almost 3/4 of a mile long and the first of its kind in the city.
A protected bicycle lane means that there will be physical barriers between the bicycle part of the street and the motor vehicle part of the street.
The barrier will have trees and bus islands at its widest points and a 2-foot-tall curb at its narrower points. The project is set to take place between the already existing curbs, which means that between two-way traffic, parking, and bikers, something wasn't going to fit. But city planners are hopeful that the loss of parking will inspire new modes of transportation. The goal of the 7 line is to create a safe extension of the B line. And according to city research, 2/3 of the population does not feel safe biking anywhere else in town.
The more we build facilities of that caliber, the more people will feel welcome in those spaces, I think, to make different choices.
The project is just one phase of the city's transportation plan, which aims to support efficient and sustainable public right-of-ways. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Holden Apsher.
The trail network is scheduled to expand east and connect Union Avenue to State Road 46 via the East 7th Neighborhood Greenway. That trail is still being designed, with initial feedback anticipated later this summer. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. This week marked the 10th anniversary of Indiana University student Lauren Spears' disappearance. Ahead, Bloomington police say the case remains open. And plans are underway to dredge Lake Lemon, which has lost nearly 200 acres over the years to increasing sedimentation. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Stay close to Indiana Newsdesk as we trace education issues all the way from the Capitol to your child's classroom. So many topics that arise each year in the State House affect what happens every day in the schoolhouse. The WTIU News Team is committed to helping you stay up to date with the issues that affect your family's future. Keep yourself informed. Tune in to Indiana Newsdesk, your source for regional and state in-depth news.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Well, it's been 10 years since 20-year-old Indiana University student Lauren Spear went missing after a night out with friends. Emma Atkinson reports.
In a Thursday Facebook post, Lauren's mother, Charlene Spearer, detailed the grief and frustration she has experienced since her family learned of Lauren's disappearance on June 3, 2011. Lauren was last seen at around 4:30 a.m. walking south at the corner of 11th Street and College Avenue in Bloomington. Despite a $100,000 reward, several civil lawsuits, and years of tips and possible leads, police have never named a suspect in the case. Police Chief Mike Dekoff says the department continues to receive and follow up on new information.
In the last 3 to 4 years, for example, investigators have executed at least 10 search warrants and received approximately 800 tips. Of those tips, over 100 of them required additional follow-up. Once they were vetted and it was determined that they were not reports for information that had already been reported.
Anyone with information related to Lauren Spear's case is encouraged to contact the Bloomington Police Department. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Emma Atkinson.
Now we turn to Ethan Burks in the newsroom for the latest headlines from around the state. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Joe. Indiana saw 32 highway work zone deaths in 2019, which is the most recent year with available data. That's higher than any year in almost a decade. But Indiana Public Broadcasting's Justin Hicks reports researchers at Purdue University are trying to use data to stop accidents before they happen.
Transportation researchers at Purdue started by selecting a few Indiana highways and looked at data from so-called connected vehicles, cars and trucks that log driving habits. Then they looked for areas where a lot of people tend to slam on their brakes, and they found a correlation between those spots and crashes. Director of the Joint Transportation Research Program, Darcy Bullock, says that with that information, officials can prevent sometimes fatal accidents before they even happen.
Whereas the insurance company is looking at how do they rate drivers, we're really looking at where is this crowdsourced information telling us that we have an opportunity on the road to make a safety improvement. And if we can reduce those hard braking events, everybody wins.
The researchers also hope to use insights from the data to one day inform how autonomous vehicles might operate in the future. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Justin Hicks.
The Hoosier Action Resource Center says 91% of all campaign contributions for the Indiana General Assembly come from political action committees and large donors. The group says because there are no limitations on money from PACs, lawmakers are more likely to prioritize the interests of businesses. The Hoosier Action Resource Center looked at recent bills passed this legislative session and found that the COVID Liability Protections Bill, which aimed to collectively help businesses, schools, and long-term care facilities, did not offer equal support, especially for nursing homes.
There was not a single piece of legislation progressed that did anything to protect residents of nursing homes or make things safer or better for them.
More than 6,200 long-term care facility residents in Indiana died from COVID during the pandemic, one of the highest rates in the nation. After struggling to break even during the early stages of the pandemic last year, the Hoosier Lottery is on track to break sales and revenue records this year. The lottery is set to deliver about $368 million back to the state this fiscal year. The revenue helps support teachers' retirement funds and police and firefighter pensions. The private company that runs the lottery will get nearly a $20 million bonus for exceeding the state's income goal. Columbus residents are on track to see their water and sewer bills increase by about 40% in the next 3 years beginning July 1st. City Council gave its first reading approval on the rate adjustment this week. Final approval is scheduled for June 15th.
We've got some sewer lines in the city that are 100 years old, and they're doing what you would think a sewer line 100 years old would do. In many cases, they collapse, or we've ended up with sinkholes.
Linnup says it's been 25 years since rates have increased, and the city is running out of cash for improvements. The closure of Kirkwood Avenue to east-west vehicle traffic between Indiana Avenue and Walnut Street will continue through the end of October. The Bloomington City Council approves the program's extension to offer more outdoor dining for restaurants and foot traffic for shops. The city said it will explore more opportunities for accessibility by talking with businesses about building ramps and adding more nearby ADA parking spots. And Joe, that is all for news breaks.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much. Well, the state DNR approved a large-scale dredging project to begin on Lake Lemon later this year. Proponents say it's necessary to help stave off sediment flow that will eventually ruin the lake. But not everyone is on board with the plan. Adam Pinsker reports.
Right now it's probably a foot and a half. Lake Lemon District Manager Adam Casey shows us how the lake is literally disappearing from under his eyes.
We've lost about 200 acres that were originally a lake that are now forested and scrub wetland, which are trees, shrubs, upland species.
That's why the Lake Lemon Conservancy District, established in 1995 to manage the lake, wants to remove 120,000 cubic yards of sediment from the lake bed.
So a dredging project of this scale has never been done.
To understand why it needs to be done, Casey says you have to look at Lake Lemon's history. It was formed in the 1950s on what was then Bean Blossom Creek, and it served as Bloomington's water source before Lake Monroe.
Anytime you take a creek and dam it up, Mother Nature wants to get it back to its natural state, which is a creek.
Casey says man-made lakes are more prone to sedimentation than natural lakes. In addition, changing weather conditions such as extreme freezes and thaws have loosened the soil around the lake even more, increasing the runoff into the lake.
When the lake was initially formed, it only had a nominal life expectancy of 120 years. And that's utilizing as a reservoir, but that's assuming that no maintenance was taking place.
The Lake Lemon Conservancy District is a taxing authority. Property taxes and user fees it collects from people who frequent the lake's parks and facilities go towards the maintenance of the lake. The district sold a $1.2 million bond to purchase a site where the dredge sediment will be deposited.
The site is located on South Shore Drive in Brown County, about a half-mile east of the county line on South Shore Drive.
But another site, a 17-acre overflow pond across from the lake, concerns lake residents, or freeholders as they are known.
I support the sediment management project. I support the full utilization of the land-based site. I am only opposed to using this overflow pond the way it's proposed in that document.
Dredge Disposal Area 1 is located in an adjacent agricultural field.
In late April, dozens of residents spoke out against the Conservancy's plans in a meeting hosted by DNR as part of the dredging permit application process. Some were worried that depositing sediment into the overflow pond will attract snakes and insects into their neighborhood.
The trees are going to come in, they're going to start growing up. In a few years, we won't even have a view of the lake. We'll be completely walled in with a swampy forest.
Casey says the overflow pond was chosen because it is much closer to the lake, so transporting the sediment will be easy.
The reason we're looking at this pond is, one, its ease of access, it has a high volume capacity, and essentially it's already formed. There's berms on all sides of it.
At a board meeting last month, the Conservancy voted to use its land-based parcel of land first and only use the overflow pond if the other site fills up. If all goes as planned, a hydraulic dredging machine will be brought in to increase efficiency of the project.
What we do right now is mechanical dredging, where we have an excavator attached to a floating barge and it's scoop by scoop. It's a pretty slow process.
Casey says the project affects more than just the people who live near the lake. Lake Lemon is a popular summer destination for people all around Indiana, and it's also home to IU's rowing team and tons of waterfowl.
We have at least 2 breeding pair of eagles, lots of juveniles around. We've actually had pelicans stopping through, herons, all kinds of stuff out here.
For Casey, who studied water management at IU, completing this project and saving the lake is personal.
It's a beautiful spot, and it's really a culmination of my education and passion.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Adam Pinsker.
Now, preparations for the dredging project begin this fall, but sediment removal won't take place until next spring. Well, if you're an owner with a dog on public property, you must keep them on a leash. But as Pat Bean reports, the new dog park at Switchyard Park is one place to let dogs be dogs.
If you're in a public place, you must keep your dog on a leash. It's as simple as that, and it's the law. But there are places in the city where you can let your dog run free. The newest is a nearly 7-acre dog park at Switchyard Park.
The difference between being always on a leash and just having the freedom to go and run around for a dog is tremendous.
Opened about a year ago, it is one piece of the $26 million Switchyard Park on the south side of town and the old McDole Switchyard. There are actually 2 dog parks at Switchyard, one for small dogs, those under 40 pounds, and a larger track for big dogs.
It's also about socializing. You know, my dog at home, she has a backyard, but she doesn't get to meet other dogs until she comes here. So just like people, it's great to make new friends, and so I think it's a terrific place.
Michelle Claus moved to Bloomington recently and has been taking advantage of the dog park.
I don't have a fenced-in yard, and I got this dog about 2.5 months ago. So it's just a good place to come, and even if there's no other dogs, just walk around without a leash. I've never been at a dog park this big before, especially with the little agility course. It's kind of nice.
Owners are responsible for their own dogs at the park. They are expected to pick up dog waste, fill in any holes, and always maintain control of and sight of their dogs. Dogs must also be spayed or neutered and up to date on vaccinations before entering the park.
I wish I could say all the dogs get along. Dogs are dogs. They're better than people a lot of times, but occasionally some of them do have their little disagreements.
The dog park section is located on the south side of Switchyard Park, far away from the playground, pickleball courts, and basketball courts.
It's a little quieter than some of the other areas. I mean, over by the spray pad and the playground, there's a lot of kids. Here it's a little quieter. There's not as much going on.
While the dog park has been open for about a year now, Marler would like to see the water system upgraded. There is only one fountain available for dogs, and it's outside the fenced-in areas. He wants to install water fountains inside the small and large areas, as well as having washing stations in both, something in place at the city's other dog park, Ferguson Dog Park, on the north side of town.
We just need our trees to grow. So it's still relatively new. It takes a while for trees to grow, and until those trees grow, there's not as much shade as we'd like.
But there is still plenty of room for your dogs to run. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Pat Bean.
The dog park is open daily from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Purdue University's agricultural barometer survey declined 20 points last month, but still remains high. Purdue professor James Minart, one of the study's authors, says a number of factors could be behind this month's dip, including uncertainty and inflation concerns. However, he notes the overall index remains quite high based on its long-term history. Mintert says there's separation between how crop and livestock farmers view the future.
The industry has grown over time, and we've gotten to the point where the balance between processing capacity and the volume of animals needing to move through the channel is very tightly balanced.
And Bloomington's 4th of July parade is back on, but it'll be a little different this year as the format follows COVID safety protocols. Parade floats will be stationary in the parking lot of Memorial Stadium, and spectators can drive or walk past them. The parade is scheduled for Saturday, July 3rd. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. lawmg.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.